Now, I may just be a worthless pile of human garbage, but when I buy a stick of deodorant, I expect the length of the stick to actually reflect the amount of deodorant that's on the inside of the case. Well, wouldn't I just be the biggest piece of shit for thinking that? Because as it turns out, they are ripping us off. Now, not every deodorant brand is guilty of this style of deceptive packaging, and some companies are actually more guilty than others. So let's go through the 6 most commonly purchased brands of deodorant and find out which ones are ripping you off the most and which ones are honestly providing you with what you paid for. So here's the 6 sticks we're going to be testing in order of price, and it's worth noting that the per ounce price of these sticks is based on the net weight of the deodorant inside the tube, so at least you aren't necessarily paying for the excess of packaging and empty space. Just like a bag of chips, which are halfway filled with nitrogen, you aren't paying for the size of the bag, you're only paying for the weight of the chips inside the bag. But unlike a bag of chips, which do this to protect the chips from being crushed up during shipping, deodorant sticks have absolutely zero purpose for this practice besides tricking unwitting consumers like me into thinking that there's more deodorant inside one stick than another. It's purely a deceptive packaging practice. Like, wouldn't you be pissed off if you bought yourself a nice, hard, respectably good size 6.5-inch tube of toothpaste, only to find out that half of it was filled with empty air, and as soon as you opened it, it went limp? Like a penis. And of course, you also expect the net weight that's labeled on the deodorant to accurately display the correct amount that's on the inside. But even here, during the weight testing, I found that some of these companies are being stingy to downright dishonest with their labeling. We'll go ahead and start with the cheapest stick first and work our way up to the most expensive. First up, Arm & Hammer Ultra Max at $1.99 a stick and a net weight of 2.6 ounces. That puts this at 76.5 cents per ounce. I'm just going to crank out all the deodorant onto this scale, which I've made sure to zero out. That way we'll be able to verify if the weight printed on the label is accurate. We'll also be able to compare the length of the deodorant to the tube that it's in. So it looks like we got 2.72 ounces of material, which is 0.12 ounces more than was listed on the packaging. Arm & Hammer gets a big thumbs up for accurate labeling. However, in terms of deceptive packaging, Arm & Hammer scores a 0 for using a container that looks like it contains twice as much deodorant. They're trying to lie to you. You get 0 points for being a liar. Next up is Speed. Next up is Speed Stick. Regular deodorant, priced at $2.19 and a net weight of 3 ounces. That gives us 73 cents per ounce. This one had one of those impossible to remove plastic covers on the top. I had to use my teeth to rip it off. The weight came in at 3.21 ounces, which is 0.21 ounces over the label, so Speed Stick gets a big thumbs up from me on honest labeling. And when comparing the size of the container to the deodorant, you can see that there's really not much, if any, extra room inside the container for wasted space when you take into account the crank at the bottom and the base plate on the inside. The deodorant sits about here, so Speed Stick gets a perfect 5 out of 5 for packaging. Good job, Speed Stick. Our third stick in line is Old Spice Original High Endurance. At $2.99 a stick and a net weight of 3 ounces, we are looking at 99.7 cents per ounce. On this one, the plastic base plate was just too stuck into the deodorant to remove, so I just left it in there. The true net weight on this one came in at 3.42 ounces, which is 0.42 ounces above the printed labeled weight. The plastic base plate is likely to account for that variance. This one gets a thumbs up for me on honest labeling. In terms of deceptive packaging, you can tell that there's definitely a little bit of wasted space in order to make it look bigger than it really is, but not a ridiculous amount. So this one will get just a 3 out of 5 from me on deceptive packaging. The fourth contender is Right Guard Extreme Defense, a fairly pricey stick at $3.69 with a net weight of only 2.6 ounces. That brings this to $1.42 per ounce. This stick has one of those giant cranks at the bottom instead of just a small dial. The true weight came out to 2.29 ounces, which is 0.3 ounces under the printed weight. Major thumbs down for honest labeling. It also gets a terrible 2 out of 5 rating for deceptive packaging. Even when accounting for the giant crank at the base, there's still an enormous amount of empty space inside this container. Like a full third of it is empty space. For the relatively higher price of this stick, I would expect far more honesty in their labeling and packaging. Alright, the fifth brand of deodorant is Axe Phoenix Scent, priced at $3.99 and a net weight of 2.7 ounces. This stick costs $1.48 per ounce. This one also has a giant crank at the bottom. The true weight came in at 2.47 ounces, which is 0.23 ounces under their labeled weight. Not a gigantic variance, but enough for a thumbs down when considering the price. This one also fails hard on deceptive packaging, earning a 1 out of 5 for leaving nearly half of the space inside the container completely empty. Again, when you're paying top dollar for your deodorant, it's reasonable to expect honesty. Of course, expecting honesty from a company whose ad campaign showed girls uncontrollably attracted to men wearing Axe products probably isn't well advised. Our last brand of deodorant to test is Tom's, which comes in a respectably small container. It's not trying to entice anyone with its long, giant package. I also like how it says here at the top, it's inside what counts, which is a reference to the company's signature natural ingredients, but is also clearly a flex against all the other brands who bulk up their packaging with empty space. It is, however, the most expensive stick of them all, coming in at $4.99 and a net weight of only 2.25 ounces. The per ounce cost of this product comes to a very high $2.22 per ounce. The true weight test came in nearly perfect at 2.29 ounces, which is only 0.04 ounces above the printed weight, so Tom earns a definite thumbs up for honest labeling. But disappointingly, they weren't all that I'd hoped when it came to deceptive packaging. Despite having an already significantly smaller container, there is still clearly empty space inside this stick when purchased brand new. But not much, and out of all of them, they waste far less plastic by far than any of them, so I'll give them 4 out of 5 for packaging. So in the end, which brand was the most deceptive? While Arm & Hammer easily had the most deceptive packaging, wasting more than half of their container on empty space, their accurate weight labeling and cheap price still made them a good deal. Right Guard, however, scored low on both deceptive packaging and honest labeling, and given the price point of $3.69 a stick, they are easily the worst deal out of the pack. The most honest labeling and packaging goes to Speed Stick, which left little to no extra room inside their container, and its true weight came in above the weight printed on their label. Considering the $2.19 price tag, this one is both the most honest and the best value. As for me, I was able to cram each of these sticks back into their little plastic sleeves, and now I'm totally stocked up on deodorant for probably like the next 5 to 10 years or something. Maybe if this video gets any decent amount of views, I'll come back and review all of these deodorants to see which one works best at preventing sweat and BO. Please leave a comment letting me know if you'd like to see that video, or if you have any other ideas for videos you'd like to see, or just go ahead and just leave a fucking comment. Subscribe to this channel and like this video. It really helps me out a lot.